Hey guys, welcome back to the writing channel. Although we do other things around here, I make edits of my characters. I'm also book editing, formatting, publishing, everything about indie publishing. You've come to the right place. I am a 15-year-old author. I publish mystery romance books. This is my only one out to date. It released almost a year ago, which is insane. It's called The Book That Divides Us. As you can see, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle Unlimited, basically everywhere you get your books. And my second one is coming out February 14th of next year. By the way, I don't want anyone to be confused. It's not the second one of this. I feel like that has caused some confusion. This is a standalone. There's no cliffhanger. Like, it completely wraps up at the end of these, whatever this is, 420 pages or whatever. And then I have another standalone coming out. That is called Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead. That's what's coming out on Valentine's Day. Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead is something that is still a mystery romance and it still fits into that box. But I feel like this is a little bit more like murder mystery coded. So if you think more like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, One of Us is Lying, that was kind of my inspiration. That was how I marketed it. I even put that on the back here, if you can see. Like, those were my comp titles. So that's kind of the vibe here. Whereas Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead, it's still a mystery, like I said, but I feel like it's not really a murder mystery. I mean, there is kind of a central murder theme, like there is a missing girl, but think more like the Natural series or like Criminal Minds or Blacklist, kind of like a secret society, FBI organization, and it's a string of cases. It's all of these different cases that you think are random. You get to see the main character and characters solve a bunch of different cases, but then you find that they're all connected. There's a common thread between them, and then the person that did one crime is kind of the person who was a victim but then did something else in another case. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of like crossing of timelines, and it's very interesting. I think it's a really good time. There's a love triangle, but please don't let you turn that away. Please don't click off this video. I promise there's a twist on it, and I think you'll really like it. So you should totally stick around. If I've successfully hooked you with that little pitch of my new book, let's get into the topic of today's video, shall we? I'm going to be editing Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead right now. So I'm currently on draft 3, which, if you didn't know, is beta reader edits. So in my last video, which I will link in the description down below if you haven't seen it already, I reacted to and started making a plan for the beta reader feedback. I have gotten 4 beta readers on right now. 3 of them have finished. 3 of them have also submitted the form. That wasn't the case in my last video, and I know I updated saying I would read the 3rd beta readers some of her comments, so I will sprinkle those in throughout. I have all of their feedback now. I've been organizing into spreadsheets. If you want to see the whole process, that was basically the setup. This is technically part 2, I should mention, as you might see from the title and the thumbnail. So I'm not going to give too much intro as to like what I'm doing, how I'm organizing the feedback, because I did do that last week. We're just going to be jumping into the meat of it, to the hard part that no one really wants to do, but it's kind of the whole point of why you get beta readers, but then you don't want to. I feel like, I don't know if this is just me, but I sometimes just want to get beta readers to get the feedback and to have some of my closest online friends who are also really talented writers read it and like give reactions and feedback, but then I don't want to implement them, because implementing them means rewriting scenes and like really using my brain that's already completely dead from school, mind you, to like figure out, not even like, I don't even want to be argumentative or defensive of what they're saying, like, because I know if I sit with it, like most of the time they are correct, and obviously I know my story better than anyone, but like most of the time they are correct, and that's why you get beta readers, because you really need and should have that outside perspective. But it's also just like mulling it over and figuring out, okay, I have their feedback, but how the heck am I going to get this in my own story? How is this going to work? How am I going to be able to tie this in? How am I going to do this? So I think that's kind of the stage I'm at. I'm really slugging through it, but to give you a little bit of perspective here, today is currently Friday, September 26th, and 2 weeks from now, actually, so Friday, September 10th, is 2 big days. First of all, it's my high school's homecoming, and I don't want to get into it, but like, let's just say that I did go to homecoming last year. I'm a sophomore, so I did go to homecoming last year, just due to a couple of things. I didn't have the best time, so I really consider this kind of my first, because I did not enjoy myself at all. So we're really going to now that I'm not going with anyone, I'm gonna be free and I'm gonna have fun. So I'm really, really excited. However, I'm going to be sending it to 2 more beta readers. Hopefully. I don't know because I haven't really talked to them about this. One of them, actually, I take that back. One of them is my IRL friend. I have, well, not really, kind of. I don't really know. I'm so forgetful. I think it was around June, I want to say. We had like a 2-hour phone call because she's a long distance friend. We went to middle school together, but then I moved states, but we still keep in touch. But we had like a 2-hour phone call. We were talking about random things, but then I remember that I brought up to her that I was writing a new book, and she beta read my last book and absolutely loved it. She gave great feedback. She's very like sarcastic but serious at the same time. It's a great combination. And I brought it up and I was like, I would love if you would beta read it again. And she's like, oh my gosh, like I'd be honored. Like I was gonna ask because I really wanted to. So she's on board, although that was 2 months ago, so I don't really know. 3 months ago actually. I don't really know if like it's gonna work with her time constraints now or whatever, so I still need to pop in and ask. I really need to do that. And then I have a brand new beta reader that I haven't really talked about on here because I'm just looking into her and like recently finding her channel, and I haven't even reached out, and I don't even think she knows who I am. I highly doubt she watches my videos. I mean, she's in the writer community, but I don't even know, so I still need to ask. So it's nothing's set in stone, but ideally, if everything goes my way and if it just works out, I will have 2 more beta readers to send it to in 2 weeks from today, at least of recording time. It'll probably be a week exactly from when y'all are seeing this. But that's basically the deadline I'm working with here because I need to get all of this rounds of beta readers' feedback implemented. And then we'll get 2 more. That'll be like the final thing because I'm going to leave the questions on the questionnaire the same so I can see like, have I improved what my past beta readers thought I didn't excel at? I want to get like new perspective. I want new eyes to see it because like the readers who are going to be reading it, they're not going to be reading several drafts. They're just going to be reading the 1 draft I put out. So I want to see if I publish like this new version, let's say, which this book still has like 5 more rounds of edits. Don't even start with me. But I want to see like from a new reader who's never read any of my books. Well, not my IRL friend, but you know what I mean. Like, how does it come across? So that's the deadline we're working with. I'm so stressed and nervous, and I don't even know where to begin with these edits. But hey, we're gonna go along this journey together. You're gonna see me in real time, kind of stressing, working through it, and I'm gonna have ups, I'm gonna have downs, I'm gonna have these light bulb moments, and then I'm gonna be staring at my phone and my screen and my computer, and I'm just gonna be completely stuck sometimes. So fingers crossed I can get all of this feedback somehow woven in, and I can take all of these suggestions and critiques into account and make a better draft at the end of this. So we shall see. Okay. I have like such a big headache right now, so I'm a little bit delirious. I stayed up until like 4 in the morning again reading. If you can't tell, I have sleep issues, insomnia. I don't know, I'm kind of crazy like that. But that's not the point. I am like hyped on adrenaline right now because I'm currently editing, obviously, and I'm getting to one of the notes that beta number 3 said. I don't want to get into it too much because it is something that I'm struggling with, and the entire reason that I'm taking her advice and that I'm fixing it is so that y'all won't predict it. It was one of the things under the plot twist category that she was like, this is a little predictable, Marcelina. Like, I don't know if you were going for a plot twist, but I kind of guessed it early on. That's not bad per se, because I think in a book like this, any type of mystery or thriller, you do not, emphasis on do not want to just have plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. Don't get me wrong, if you can execute that, like, more power to you. That just shows what a good writer you are, and it is pretty enjoyable for readers to read, and it leaves their jaw on the floor, and it's like, oh my gosh. However, sometimes if you do so many big ones back to back to back that are just completely earth-shattering and unexpected, it leaves your readers feeling kind of lost, and not the good kind of lost where they're like, was so much is happening, I did not expect that, but like okay, I'm genuinely confused, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm gonna put down this book, I don't have any energy or motivation to read it right now because I don't know what's happening. You do not want that to happen to you. That could impact how much a reader enjoys it, the rating of your book. Like, you do want to sprinkle in some kind of predictable twist just so that the reader feels they can get a grip, that they have a grasp of this plot, that they know something's going on, that they're like, okay, well, I got something right. So it makes it feel a little bit more well thought out, and just like they can follow along, if that makes any sense. So no, I don't want it to be like a constant boom, 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 because I don't want my readers to be confused. I want them to know what's going on. I want them to at least like guess something so that they feel kind of accomplished and they can stick with the storyline, because yes, it is very complicated, but this is a twist that I have kind of been envisioning since day one, since I started outlining. I might have talked about it. It's something that I'm really hyping up, and I have this one line that is supposed to, spoiler, it's not working, it's not effective right now, but my intention behind writing it was that it would kind of be this like one-liner to reveal the plot twist, and it's a really good line and I really love it, and I want it to convey all of that shock factor and all of the tension coiled up into one, and then it's the end of the chapter, like it's the last line of the chapter, cliffhanger, like I have a plan, right? But basically it's not working. So I made some notes in my notebook. I was going to show my notebook, but it's all the way in the living room. Maybe I'll show it later, or a time lapse of me doing it. I actually came in my room only to get a highlighter. So let me do that instead of just laying here, because I do need a highlighter. Should I get pink or yellow? I have a yellow one here, and I have a pink one here. We're gonna use pink, maybe? No, maybe yellow. We'll bring both. But anyway, basically I made a note that one of the ways I could fix this issue is there's just like a certain tattoo designs that are described on this character that's like madly suspicious. And one of the tattoos is so good and I'm obsessed with it, and it's a very like clever kind of play on words, play on the situation, on the circumstances. It's very fun. I don't want to cut that out. But that beta number 3, recommended that I cut all the tattoos out. So I was like, well, I want to keep the day one. And she's like, yeah, I really like that one too. So I think I was gonna originally cut out, there was 3 other designs, I believe. One on his neck, one peeking out of his bicep, and then one like behind his ear. So that was going to be my plan, but then I'm reevaluating it. I was reading through it a few minutes ago, and I was like, actually, I don't want to do that, because then there's kind of a mini plot hole, because in a future flashback, it is described that this character has multiple, plural tattoos. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna create a bunch of confusion, even more so than I already am, and that's going to backfire in my face. So I was like, I'm gonna keep the 3 locations, because he has one on his wrist. That's the one that I'm like for sure keeping. But the 3 others, but I just changed what the tattoo design was, so they're not the same things anymore. But then that kind of created a plot hole. I love when you're editing your book and then you're fixing a problem, but in fixing that problem you end up creating another problem because of it. You know what I mean? If you're a writer, you feel me? So I was like, oh shoot, I created another problem. So now what I need to go do is with highlighters 4, I'm going to check off things in my notebook so that I can stay organized with the changes that I have made. I have a bunch of different documents open right now, and I know I put the beta's form responses in a spreadsheet. I'm using that as a reference, and I'm writing down my potential solutions in my notebook. So we're doing a little hands-on approach, but right now, I know I'm walking all around, but right now I'm going to go to another scene, because the suggestion that beta number 3 had for me was a 2-part thing. So the first part was with the tattoos, and then the second part was with a future conversation. Like, and I mean future, like it literally happens like 30 chapters later. I'm working in chapter 11 right now, so I think this one happens, I don't even know, chapter 39, 40, I don't really know, like a long time later. And it's not a bad conversation, because it really gives us insight into another character's internal conflict and even external conflict, if I'm being honest, which is good. Like, you always want that, and you want scenes that can highlight and showcase that. But she pointed out that conversation is a little too obvious. I spelled it out a little too much. Like, it just, and I'm reading it back and I'm like, oh yeah. What was Summer Marcelina thinking? Because I'm basically, this character is basically saying it without saying it, but also they are saying it. You know what I mean? It's really bad. It's almost a conversation that should be had after said character tells Natalia the truth, which is like a whole planned out scene that happens way after that. But I don't even know what I'm thinking, or what I was thinking. So I came up with something, and I was like squealing and jumping up and down. That's what I was so excited about, because I came up with a tattoo design that's going to go, wait, where is it going to go? Behind his ear, I believe. And it's these words, this sentence. I think I could say it because it's not spoilery. It's one of those like really ominous, and then you'll learn the meaning later. It's without enemies, you'd never have an ally. I feel like I ate with that one. You'll learn what it means and why it's tattooed on this character later. But that's what I need to write because I realized that that's a perfect swap. If I could just flip-flop, because I was like, I'm already gonna either cut out or rewrite that one conversation. So now, instead of having to cut it out like I was afraid of doing, I don't need to delete it entirely. I could just rewrite it, and then instead of that character talking about the other thing that's like way too obvious, now Natalia can be grilling them about the tattoo design and what the words mean, and then they could be explaining what the words mean, because I do want to tell the reader what the words mean, because even though I just came up with them 5 minutes ago, it's good. It's good, I promise. There is something deeper there. Like, it goes deeper than just like whatever poeticness you think is there. But I promise it means something, so I think that gives me a good opportunity to keep the same heartfeltness and like, I guess, vulnerability of that scene that I love so much, which was the entire reason I wrote it. The conversation scene, I mean, not the tattoo scene. But now I get to kind of cross-reference anyway and then answer a previous question. So I'm basically killing 2 birds with 1 stone, which is always amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna go work on rewriting that scene. So I'll update you guys later.
You know the drama is never ending. Don't let it get the best of you. And all the fake friends just keep pretending. That's how the little things get huge. Paralyzing every pore. Oh, you feel it taking over you.
I just wrote an amazing line that I'm so proud of. So someone asked someone who it was, and all you need to know is that that person responded with, the same one who taught me the difference between breathing to live and living to breathe. Tell me that is not going to make you put the book down and stare at the wall. Tell me right now. I'm kind of obsessed. This is what draft 3 writing looks like, I swear. Some of the lines don't come easily, and then some of them are so much better than the first draft, but that's how it's supposed to be, so I'm not mad at it. It is currently 2:21 p.m. September 27th. Still, I have officially finished rewriting that scene. It only took like 10 minutes, so I'm happy it turned out really good. I'm really happy. It was only, I can't really tell how many words it is because I ended up just using the same format, and I think it ended up being a little bit shorter than the original scene, because remember, I wasn't writing a brand new scene, I was just rewriting what was already there. So I think this isn't going to be entirely accurate because I did keep like the last chunk. I just shifted the sentence around. Okay, 196 words. Not as impressive as I may be flexing, but I promise there's a lot of juicy details and foreshadowing in that teeny tiny little paragraph. Actually, it's like several lines of dialogue, but you know what I mean. So I'm happy that I was able to rewrite that. That was like my big goal for the day. So I feel really accomplished now. I'm not going to stop, however, I'm going to keep working, but that was like something I really was striving to accomplish. I have a problem, and I don't know how to fix the problem, but I just know the problem needs to be fixed. Life of a writer quarter right here. Hey guys, decided mental breakdown. I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are so red. I was crying for like 20 minutes. I don't want to get into it. Like, I'm not trying to make this like event channel or anything. I feel like sometimes writing, especially, which like editing's harder, like it's easier just to write a first draft, but like writing's my coping mechanism, and I feel like I really need to be burying myself in that tonight, just because I am low-key self-sabotaging, and I don't know, I'm just feeling a lot of things. This week has not been the best. I've been so busy. I feel like I'm ignoring all of my online friends. There was a miscommunication with one of my closest online friends, and I feel absolutely awful. So if you're seeing this, I love you so, so much. With my IRL friends, like, I have a couple close ones, but the rest of them are so fake and so mean to me. and I'm just getting really stressed about my book, and the release is coming up and deadlines are coming up, and I literally have, I don't even know how long, less than 2 weeks to get all these beta edits done before I'm sending it to 2 more beta readers, and I am not anywhere near done. Homecoming's coming up in 2 weeks, which means I need to stay after school like almost every single day to help student council prep for that. I just have no time, and I feel like I'm losing my spark in writing and everything, and it sucks, and I don't know what to do. So I don't even know anymore. I'm just including this in here to show, like, once again, I know I may seem like I have everything figured out. I know you may watch my vlogs and be like, oh my gosh, I want to be like Marcelina. Like, she's a teenager, she's a published author, like, this girl knows what she's doing. I don't. I struggle so much. I am still learning too. This is everyone's first time on this planet. This is my first time on this planet. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. And, like, it's not always sunshines and rainbows being a published author, writing a book in general, or being a YouTuber, or just like being online, and it's a lot. And if you're ever feeling like really discouraged, like, it's okay to take a break, it's okay to rest. Don't overwork yourself, don't burn yourself out. Your manuscript or your like videos, if you're a social media influencer, like, they're always going to be there tomorrow. Cry, give yourself a day off, and just like breathe. Anyway, that's my depressing update. Let's see what productive things I can get done. Okay. Hi guys. False alarm. Everything's fine. I'm totally not bearing my issues for the sake of just moving on, but we are moving on because we gotta move on, am I right? Today is a couple days later. It is Monday, September 29th. And I just want to talk through a little bit of a problem I have. You know, like, you guys, it's not live, but just talking to the camera will help. This is not an IRL related problem this go around. I promise you do not have to hear any more of my issues. It is a writing problem to keep this video on track. But, okay, I don't know what to do. So, I got a comment from one of my 3 beta readers. I'm not going to say which one. And before anyone's like, if only 1 beta reader out of your 3 beta readers said this, it's probably not true. Well, no, because I value all my beta readers' opinions. Yes, there is kind of a rule of, you know, if all of your beta readers are saying the same thing, you should listen to it because it's most likely true and there's some merit to it. That doesn't mean that there's not merit to just one person's suggestion, because one person may have a keener eye, or they may have been paying closer attention to during that scene or whatnot. I think this just came to more of their attention. They were looking at this through a sharper lens than maybe my other 2 beta readers. So what I'm trying to say is, just because I didn't get this from anyone else doesn't mean that it's not something I should look into. And I do agree, but I don't know how to fix it. So I wrote down on my notes of beta edits, trying to fit this in frame here. Guess I could just scoot it back. I made this during last vlog, but I divided it into plot, characters, romance, and mystery at the bottom. And in the romance section, one of my beta readers basically suggested that I add in more like crush, like longing, yearning, pining type thoughts about Jaden, like from Natalia's perspective, about Jaden while she's with Kyle, but not in a cheating or unfaithful way. In and of itself, that makes sense, and it's inherently true. I do see what she was saying about that, because I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to spoil anything or tell you who the endgame guy is for Natalia, but I will say that she is with them for a certain period of time. She's with one of them longer, but she is with both of them, because I do kind of hate that order of events in love triangles where the main character like doesn't even date them or never even kisses them, but she just like, she's having a love triangle of just pure pining, basically. It's low-key annoying. I don't know if this is just me, but I kind of like when she's with both of them so that we can kind of like test it out and we could like really see who we want to root for. So she is with both of them, and yes, she is with Kyle. That's not a spoiler because she's with both of them, okay? Not a spoiler, I repeat. What my beta was trying to say was that there are more thoughts of Kyle when she's with Jaden than thoughts of Jaden while she's with Kyle, if that makes any sense to you guys. And again, that's not me saying that Kyle's endgame, nor am I saying Jaden's endgame. I'm just saying that I think, okay, and again, this is not a spoiler. I feel like all authors have a bias. For myself, not for Natalia necessarily, but for myself, I kind of pick Kyle. Like, he's kind of my favorite. So I think I'm trying so dang hard. You have no idea how hard I'm trying to keep that bias out of my writing, but it kind of infiltrates it, and you can somewhat, sort of, kind of, in some scenes tell that I favor Kyle, because I feel like she's me, okay? She's chronically thinking about him when she's with Jaden, which is like, that does kind of give the love triangle tension of like the main character's never satisfied and all that, but like also, okay, where's that for Jaden? Because like, is what she had with Jaden really existent? You know what I mean? Like, it feels very flat, very one-dimensional, and I think in order to make both guys more of a viable option than they already are, and just make sure that there's like no bias, I need to sprinkle in a little bit more chemistry with Jaden, like her constantly thinking about him, to like match how much she obsesses over Kyle. Which seems easy. You're probably like, okay, Marcelina, then just sprinkle in some thoughts. It's not that hard. You're wrong. It is. Because here's the deal. I have my computer. Oh, I cannot get everything in frame. I have my computer right here. And I'm going through scenes. I was doing this last night. Then I had to go to bed. I had school today. I was doing it any moment I can, and I'm still stuck. I've been looking through scenes. I swear I've been reading and reading and reading, and I could not find a place where this could go. And again, that probably sounds weird, like Marcelina just put it somewhere. But the thing is every romance scene or like significant scene that's either a fight between Natalia and Jaden, or like when Natalia and Kyle like are together sometime in the middle of the book, it's so tightly packed. Every bit of romance in this book, I do not want to say every bit of this book, like the mystery and some of the like FBI case stuff still needs to be polished, but the romance is pretty tightly packed. I feel like I outlined that really well, and I feel like everything is beat by beat exactly how it should be. So to try to squeeze in where she's not fully invested in the moment, because like especially with the Kyle scenes, everything I have, it's supposed to lead toward their art, because they don't have an enemies to lovers. I said this before. I'm well aware of all of the controversy, specifically on Book Talk, but you know what I mean, about everyone being like, I hate when authors call their books enemies to lovers. Like, they be out here calling anything that nowadays. Like, half the books that they call enemies to lovers are not. Trust me, I've seen that. I know that. I can pretty much 90% of the time agree with that, with the books that they're talking about, and I don't want to do that. I do not want to be a hypocrite. I'm calling this book, well, it's two different because there's two different guys, but for like Natalia and Kyle specifically, it is a reluctant allies to lovers, okay? Gotta put that reluctant allies in there, not enemies, not even rivals. There's a difference. Please do not come at me. I'm giving a warning in advance. Thank you. But because of that, I feel like every like romancy scene is vital to make them not so like at each other's throats, not so skeptical of one another, not so like have their guards up, especially with Natalia, because that's kind of her internal conflict. That's kind of her character, is she's very guarded. That's just who she is. You'll get into why once you learn her backstory and her like coping mechanisms, but that's just who she is. Every scene I'm trying to kind of convey her breaking her walls down, because with Jaden and Natalia, it's more of an instant like flirtatious friends to lovers kind of thing, sort of, kind of. More so with him, she's still skeptical, like I'm not gonna get rid of that, but it's a lot easier going than with Kyle. So it's just like, I feel like all the Kyle scenes, or the Natalia scenes, as my readers like to call them, you guys make the best ship names. Shout out to Ruth for coming up with like most of them. I don't know, I just feel like all of those scenes are so intentional. Every single one of them is development for Natalia or Kyle or the relationship or both. I feel like to turn around and insert a Jaden mention, or her being like in her head, even if she doesn't even like talk about him, but like, again, my beta reader didn't even suggest dialogue, just like thinking about him, just thoughts. But Jaden would never say that. Like anything like that, it feels so weird, and then I don't want my readers to think I'm favoring Jaden. So it's just like, I don't know, because I'm trying to find a scene that I don't want to say is not as important, but I also do know that there are fan bases for each. And I don't want, like, if there's a Kyle and Natalia kiss scene, let's say, I'm not going to tell you where that's at, let's just say they do kiss. Like, I want to give Kyle fans their moment. I want to give them their time. If you are rooting for Kyle, to jump up, to scream in your pillow at 3 a.m, I don't really know, to do whatever, to be like, yes, they kissed, and then not have Miss Girl start thinking about the other guy, because that is like the Semi-Turned Pretty belly stuff. Let me just tell you, I love that show. I binged all 3 seasons with my mom so fast. But that was why I will forever remain not even Team Bonrad. I'm Team Conrad and anti-Belly, because I could go on a whole rant about her. I think the biggest thing that annoyed me about her, and I've seen so many people being like, why are people hating on Belly? Like, she's such a complex, raw, real character. I'll admit, she was relatable sometimes. Her friendship with Taylor was so cute and so gold, and I loved it. However, I hated how, and I feel like she specifically did this with Conrad. I mean, not so much in the 3rd season, if you know, that one beach scene. But specifically in the 1st and 2nd season, like, whenever Conrad was trying and they were getting somewhere and he was opening up, she would always start thinking about Jeremiah. She would always make a mention of Jeremiah. She would always be like tying him back to this. And it's like, girl, every single time. It was infuriating. And then she was just leading both of them on so much. And then also I was Team Jeremiah in the first 2 seasons, but I promise I converted, but at first I was. And it really annoyed me because I think specifically in the 2nd season when like Jellyfish was really coming into fruition. Also, if you have not watched that show, you're probably so confused right now. I am so sorry. But at that point, every time she was like, I love you, like I want to be with you. And then I think there was even a point toward the end of the 2nd season where he was like, I don't want to do this if you're not fully devoted to me. If you're gonna still like have feelings for Conrad, like I don't want to do this. And she's like, no, I will never. Like, you're the only one I want. And then I'm pretty sure like 30 seconds later in her internal monologue, she was like, but I'll always have feelings for Conrad. He'll always be my first love. Girl, it's so annoying, because that's the thing that I think annoys readers, and that right there is, I think, what gives love triangles such a bad rap. It's the fact that the main character can never be happy, she can never be satisfied, she's always going back and forth. Every time one guy is like, oh, so you're picking me, like you're loyal to me, right? She says yes, maybe she'll do something, kiss him or be intimate with him or whatever, and then 2 seconds later she'll be either thinking in her internal monologue, or she'll be texting or saying to her friend something about the other guy. It's like, you have no sense of loyalty or even just respect, and it shows, and it's really annoying. So anyway, rant over. I apologize about that. I did not mean to get on a soapbox there, but I just feel like I don't want to do that with my readers. I don't want to make my readers hate Natalia. I feel like right now Natalia is a very solid character. She has a good arc. Yes, she has flaws. Yes, she makes mistakes. She's 16. Give her a break. But at the same time, I don't want people to start like hating her as much as they hate Belly. You know what I mean? So that's also my concern. And again, this is nothing against the beta reader, but that's why I'm just really hesitant about this in the first place. And it circles back to if I even want to implement this. Like, I do, because I get where she's coming from, but it's like, I don't want to do this and then have Natalia turn into that, because I unknowingly made it a little bit too unfaithful, even though my beta reader said, and that's why I wrote it, like, not in a cheating way, but it's like, if they're together, which they get together pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie, but like teen relationships, you know what I mean? But it's like, I feel like there is no way to make it not in a cheating way. You know what I mean? I don't know. You probably don't know what I mean. I don't know why I keep asking that, because you don't. But I don't know what to do. I don't know how to approach this. Still trying to be realistic, but like also treat this delicately, but then also kind of make both sides happy. I think that's the problem. I really think that I'm trying to make both sides happy. I'm trying to make Team Jaden girlies happy and Team Kyle girlies happy. And it's like, as much as I want to make every single one of you lovely readers happy, that's just not how it works. It's just like how in life, you cannot please everyone. You are not everyone's cup of tea. You will never make everyone on this earth like you. It's kind of the same thing. But also, what I do or what I don't do can give away the endgame couple, which is like, again, is it that much of a plot twist, or should it be? No. But do I want it to be completely and utterly predictable from page 1? No. So, like, I still want both guys to be viable options, so I think that's why it needs to be like, when Natalia does eventually get with Jaden immediately after Kyle, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, this girl's doing it for the plot, like, this girl being me. Like, why did she do this? There's no chemistry. I don't know. It's just like, I've never done this before. I've only ever had to build chemistry between two characters. And I think my mind, I've always written that kind of like Morley Gray. If you've read my last book, I think I'm still in that mindset with like the Alyssa soft girl sunshine mixed with the grumpy Morley Gray Mateo type. That was the dynamic I'm used to. I think my head is still in that space, and that is so Kyle and Nat for me. And then now that I'm bringing in another character, it's not even like, oh, this golden retriever. Like, it's not even Jaden's personality that's throwing me off. It's the fact that I now have two guys to balance between. It's just complicated because, like, how do I do this without not doing it, without like making sure it's conveyed, without making it cheating, without getting the readers frustrated at Natalia, while like still giving her chemistry with both people? But like also, chemistry isn't the type of thing that you just have with someone when you're around them. Like, you don't just have those butterfly feelings for someone when you're talking to them. You know it's a crush when you have those butterfly feelings, when you have that like giggly, like blushing feeling if someone mentions their name, if you're watching a TV show and this fictional character just has the same name and it reminds you of them, if you're, you know, at home 6 hours later when you're not even around them but you hear a song that reminds you of them. Like, that's how you know you're really falling for them, because it's not just when you see them, it's anytime, anywhere. They just start to like take over your life and your head. That's how it should be with romances and books. The characters, and I think that's a good way to look at it too, the characters shouldn't just have chemistry and they shouldn't just like click and have sparks when they're around each other. The dialogue should not be the only thing that's making readers convinced, hey, these two like each other, hey, these two would be cute together. It's the thoughts when the main character is alone. It's the thoughts when the main character is with another person, not even another guy, but in my case, she's gonna have to be, because when else is she gonna be thinking about him? So anyway, I need to stop yapping. I think I figured out one scene though. I'm on page 139 right now. What is this, chapter 36, I believe? Also 139 in non-formatted pages, because I write in like, let me show you. The glare is like so bad, but I write in these like really big kind of pages, but like the actual paperback, I promise, is going to be a lot smaller, and I found it to be usually double. So in a paperback, this would probably be, I don't know, like page 270, 280 maybe. So I think I found that because there is a phone call scene. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Out of context, don't even think about why she's calling them or what the issue is. Just know it's a very tense, high-stakes scene, okay? Okay. So blocking out the outside chatter, I did what my gut told me to do. Call Kyle. And mind you, Kyle and Natalia are together at this point in the book. 1 ring, 2, 3, 4. All the way up to 5 rings before it went to voicemail. I tried again. Still nothing. Damn it, Kyle, pick up. I was getting jittery. My hand shook so bad I could barely click on his contact. I needed to sit. I needed to sit. I mumbled, screw it, under my breath and dialed Jaden's number instead. My heart thumped with betrayal, even though conflict of interest was the least of my worries. I just needed someone, anyone, to help. Jaden answered on the 2nd ring. Yeah, so you can see, maybe, can you see how perfect this is to add a little something, like, because I feel like with the line, especially my heart thumped with betrayal, even though conflict of interest was the least of my worries, I feel like that right there really illustrates her conflict of interest and her feelings of being torn. She's currently with Kyle, so she does feel weird, but Kyle wasn't picking up. So I feel like this is a good place. So I'm going to start here. I feel like this would be a good place to add something. I don't know. I'm going to turn on some music. I have one of these Lifesaver candies. I think I actually have 2. I got them from Spanish class. Yes, I like grape. Fight me. Grape is a good flavor. Fight me. And I'm going to just put on my AirPods, and I'm home alone right now, so it just like, it's the perfect atmosphere to chill, right? It's only 4:46 p.m. I finished all my homework. Like, we're just going to start with this scene and turn on some like Jaden Russian music to get me like all in his vibe and see what like jealousy, but then also like Natalia's wavering and kind of going to him. Like, I need to show chemistry. And I think this isn't going to be the only scene, don't worry, but I think this is a good place to start. This might be the easiest place to start. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'll update you guys with how this goes. Not me spelling flatly with 2 T's. I think there's something mentally wrong with me. In other news, this scene is going amazing. Can't wait to share it with you when I'm done.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Woohoo! Okay, 30 minutes later, I think I finally figured it out and fixed it a little bit. Well, not even fixed it, I added, I don't even know what this is, maybe 100 words worth of some like internal conflict, some dialogue, some like awkward actions. I'm just gonna read this like one kind of back and forth dialogue between Jaden and Natalia, and just keep in mind that they're on the phone right now. For the first 2 lines, they're speaking over each other, by the way. I hope that's conveyed clearly. I feel like it will be when you actually read it. Maybe listening to it with me speaking isn't as obvious. Okay. I froze, somehow unprepared. Do you know, look, if this is about what happened the last time we spoke, the line quieted. My gosh, he thought I wanted to talk about how I'd stormed off to the park without giving him the chance to explain his side of the story. Resisting the urge to scream, I finished my question. Do you know where Kyle is? Kyle, he said flatly. The only reason you'd ever call me. Right. If my stupid heart wasn't afraid of getting attached, I'd call you every night to hear your stupid voice say that stupid Russian word for espresso. I'm calling you now, aren't I? To ask about Kyle. Guys, you know, her thoughts compared to what she's saying, the contrast is extreme, but that's just who she is. She puts on a front because her heart's actually not stupid. She thinks it is. I'm trying to be neutral here. I love her. We're spreading positivity as the author. Her lovely heart is so confused and it's afraid of getting attached. It's just such a big part of her character, period, is people leaving her and getting attached to people who could very well be taken away from her or willingly leave and abandon her. She's had so much experience with that ever since she was young. So I think that trauma has just permanently inputted itself in her brain. So now she doesn't want to be with anyone for too long because she's scared of that. So it's very interesting kind of seeing this play out, but I love the Jaden jealousy because that's one of his most fatal flaws. So trying to subtly incorporate it in this scene has been fun, I must admit. Also, as promised, I did say in the last video that beta number 3, who submitted the form slightly after, I was trying to record super early, like all of my clips, and I happened to record all of those clips right before she submitted it. So I said that in the next vlog, aka this one, I would share some of her responses, which I will. I will say though, look at this. Guys, I love her so much. This whole paragraph is one answer. That is one answer from her. Wow. And I will say I have, unlike the other ones, I have read through all these already and started adding them to my spreadsheet. I just copy and pasted them over. But there were a couple that caught my attention. So for the overall thoughts and reactions, she said it was so insanely good, literally jaw-dropping at every turn. That was my mission. It is, it will forever be, because, come on, what good mystery or thriller should you not be dropping your jaw in? I've read some contemporary romances and my jaw drops because of something that happens plot-wise, and that's not even a mystery. So if I have that kind of visceral reaction reading a freaking romance, oh, then you better believe a mystery, especially my mystery, is very jaw-dropping. So I'm honored at that. And then plot twist is super spoilery. Do I even want to attempt to do this? Probably not. I'm gonna be blurring out half of it. I'm not even kidding. It's just, what I love is that she gave exact examples, not necessarily that the other people didn't, But instead of being like, oh, I was shocked, but it wasn't too predictable, like, she broke down specific examples, which I appreciate, but that also means I'm not sharing, because don't even get any ideas, guys. You're not getting a word out of me. The long paragraph that I showed you, I will read that. That belonged to the question of, who was your favorite and least favorite character? Was the character development good for all of them? So, she said, let me clear my throat for this one. That's so hard. Stop. I think either Era or Santiago are my favorites. I really, really like Era's character development at the beginning, where at first she's all like, no, I hate you, to Natalia, and then after she opens up to her. I also really liked how you added the whole element of blank because of blank, because she did something. Yeah, spoilers, because I feel like it gave her layers as a character. I also really enjoyed Santiago because of boom, XYZ. Yeah, that surprised me. I'm not gonna lie, no one thus far has said that like Santiago is their least favorite character or anything. But beta number 3 is the first one. I mean, I've only had 3, but out of the 3, to say that Santiago is one of her favorites, I was asking her about it later. She did say that she decided Era's her number 1 and then Santiago's her number 2, so they're not like tied or anything. But that's still very interesting and very comical, actually, because if you are a part of my YouTube community, if you scroll into any one of my comments when I'm doing any sort of video about Santiago where Santiago is mentioned, he's in it, I don't really know, I don't really care. Everybody in the comment section is like, he's sus, I don't trust him, he's a red flag, oh, I don't like him. Like, everybody hates him already, just based off of preconceived notions that I didn't even set. Okay, I have never once walked out here and been like, you guys should hate Santiago. I'll admit, I have been gatekeeping him intentionally, and I have mentioned in vlogs specifically that, like, yes, I'm trying to gatekeep him, yes, I don't want to say too much about him, like, he is a mysterious character, and maybe you guys interpreted me saying that he's very mysterious and secretive and all of that as, like, equals bad, and I will admit he has a lot of secrets, and some of them are really, really dangerous, and he does have, like, kind of a criminal gang history, and it's just, like, there are definitely a lot of very icky things there that are like, he's at the wrong place at the wrong time, he's involved with the wrong people. There's just a lot there to dissect that I'm not going to do, and I feel like you can't really understand unless you read the book, but it's just kind of like complex character at its finest, so I'm so glad that someone understands him, because I know more people will, but I have to wait until February until the book is officially released to the public and everyone can read it, and then I can start getting messages like this where you guys are like, sorry I ever said anything bad about Santiago. But for now, this will have to do. So anyway, little side note, I'm sorry, but I had to add that I'm so happy she said that. Yeah, basically just a bunch about Santiago, which I'm going to blur out because that is very, very spoilery. Okay, moving on. She said, as for least favorites, I think we all know who I'm going to say. Cough, cough. Okay, but in all seriousness, his initial likes I really enjoyed. They made it seem like he had personality, which was really nice to see. The jealousy between him and Kyle also worked out really well for character development, but tied in with a whole plot twist. By the way, she's talking about Jaden. It took you a second. We kind of have an inside joke running where she's like, I hate Jaden. And it's really funny because I love him and she doesn't. And, yeah, so if you see anyone commenting on this video saying something like, I still don't like Jaden, I think you found your beta reader, okay? Anyway, said that the whole jealousy building up kind of made it make sense. The plot twist makes sense, by the way. Not like the relationship, but the plot twist between Jaden and someone else. And then she said, well, wait, no, I was so surprised when, oh yeah, we found out he was the one who did something to someone else. You don't really expect that at him, but I will say, a little hint, jealousy and overprotectiveness are his fatal flaws. And before y'all come for me and be like, why are you writing a toxic love interest, Marcelina? First of all, I believe in healthy relationships, and he and Natalia do have healthy relationships. And then, as for the jealousy thing, that's not really so much a toxic, non-healthy relationship, so much as a flaw, and all characters need to have flaws. If your character does not have flaws, go back to the drawing board, go back to your character outlining sheet or whatever you used to plan out these characters and reevaluate, honey, because that is not normal. All of your characters should have at least 1 or 2, preferably 2, fatal flaws. that kind of build up their misbelief. You don't want to have a perfect Mary Sue character. That is not fun for like how the story will play out, because it's just going to make things really weird if they're just perfect. And then also for your readers, they're gonna get really frustrated at you. So that's a pro tip. She said, I could not believe what I was reading, but after thinking about it for a while, I realized I kind of understood why and like where his jealousy issues came from. It wasn't just a sudden slap of jealousy, it was building throughout, which made her dislike him more. I feel like it is a hit or miss. That's what I'm saying. I feel like some people, depending on your preconceived standing of if you are Team Jaden or Kyle going into it, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be coming from my social media where I've been hyping up the two teams for a really long time versus like someone who's just finding me, like an ARC reader or something, or like a random person who saw me off of a random thing. I don't really know. They might not judge him as harshly. But if you go in as Team Kyle from day one, this is just going to be one more thing that pushes you over the edge to be like, oh yeah, I was right about Jaden. This is why I don't like him. So she was kind of coming from that perspective. So that's why. I promise, okay, this is the first person that said Jaden was their least favorite. Just like, I mean, do it that way you will, but it's funny. I feel like I've gotten some private message predictions that are like right, and I'm really doubting myself that I'm making everything too dang obvious for you guys. Like I'm making it too easy to figure things out, and I need to stop doing that. I have to stop being like, I need to start talking in vaguer terms, because I feel like it's really easy to decode my words, which cannot happen because I don't want you guys' rating or like enjoyment of the book to be impacted because of something I said poorly. Like it just slipped out on camera, and then it makes your experience overall go down. For this one, this was question 3, I think, all about Natalia. So let's talk Natalia. What are your general impressions of her? Was her internal conflict strong enough? Was she annoying, a little too smart for her age? And did you enjoy the hacking scenes? So, beta number 3 said, yes, Nat, I adored the hacking scenes. They were so well written, and overall, I just love Nat. Yay! I could tell her conflict was strong, and it showed, but not to the point where it was over the top. It was kept very realistic. That is good. Something I was afraid of was just like, I feel like I was vocalizing her internal conflict too much. Like, you're not supposed to spell it out. That's also another pro tip. And this also applies to fatal flaws, what else? Misbelief, their greatest fear. Well, their greatest fear and their misbelief are basically the same thing. But you know what I mean? Like, you're never supposed to spell it out. Like, you're never supposed to have your main character, or really any character for that matter that gets a POV, or even if they don't, say it in their dialogue or even in their thoughts what their internal conflict is. That's not the point. That's where it becomes more external conflict, because it's like happening around them and to them. But internal conflict, it's supposed to be very personal, and it's supposed to be something that they don't necessarily recognize. It just happens through actions. Like, don't be afraid of like being very subtle about it and thinking that your readers won't pick up on it and they'll think that your character doesn't have an internal conflict. Like, trust me, readers have become really good at identifying internal conflict and flaws and misbeliefs and all of that. Not by making it obvious, but just it comes across very clearly in the actions. If your character makes a decision, the readers can infer, and then like that character doesn't explain why they make the decision, the readers can infer why they did that, and that leads into it. So I think the less like over the top you are about it, the better you're going to be able to execute it in the end. So that's what I wanted to do, and I'm really glad that she thinks it came across as such. And then she said she kept thinking Santiago had something to do with it. But he did! We'll get to that. Actually, no, we won't. We'll get to that in February 14th. How about that? There were some bits where it would be like a few days or a week later, and she'd be like, why can't you open up to me or be nice to me or something along those lines? And I'd be like, girl, they just met you, give them a minute to warm up. But other than that, I loved her. I do totally see what she's saying though, and I think that's the thing that doesn't come across clear to anyone that hasn't read it. There are just certain scenes where Natalia is low-key basically saying that. Like, she might even be quoting it. I don't know if that was her intention, but I think, why can't you open up to me line? That sounds pretty familiar. And I'm cringing to myself because I'm like, who talks like that? Who says that to someone that they just met? But But in the stargazing rooftop scene, which again, chapter 17, very, very hyped around here. Promise it lives up to the hype because everyone says it does, because it does. But that's kind of a trauma dumping type thing, and already I went a little risky with the trauma dumping so early on. Then I think Natalia even does say something like that in the next chapter. It's just like, I think there could be something to be said about Natalia's internal conflict, and that being an example, that being what I'm talking about, showing through her actions, because like she has been so closed out that she kind of expects everyone to open up to her. So I feel like that could be argued, but then also I can see why it would come off annoying, because again, who talks like that? Who asks that? I mean, fine, maybe you would say something along those lines to your best friend that you've known for 3 years. I remember, I think my friend and I, of like a year and a half, my IRL friend, we got into like an argument. I'm trying to remember, was it over text or in person? I don't remember, because like it was something like that. And it was just, there was some issues of closing herself off, then not opening up, but then like blaming me. It was a whole thing. But like, that makes sense. We'd known each other for over a year at that point. We'd hung out so many times. We were very close. So I feel like to your close friend, like, yeah, like, especially if they've opened up to you before and you've opened up to them, it's like, okay, why are you shutting yourself off now? You know what I mean? But then, considering the fact, again, I would have to go back and do some searching and figure out like what scene this is in to like confirm for sure the timeline, because I don't know that right now. Did she know him for a week, for 2 weeks, even 2 weeks? That's insane. So I don't know why I'd be doing that, but that is quite cringy, I'm not gonna lie. So I think I definitely need to fix that, and that should be an easy fix too. That's like line editing type fixes. Well, not for like everything, but at least for that particular thing. So I'm not worried. Anything else? I just want to like, I know I said I wasn't gonna read it anymore, but now I'm like going down a rabbit hole, because I have read these, but I haven't read them in a few days, so I'm just refamiliarizing myself. Didn't see the plot twist coming. Okay, I'm so far 3 for 3. None of my beta readers predicted the main one. I mean, I think the closest was beta number 2. She said she kind of guessed it. She was saying that it was one of those, like, her intuition and her mind knew it before she did, but she didn't really recognize it, but she was still like 90% shocked, which is good. Oh, and then the love triangle, she said that it was executed so well. Oh, yay! I'm happy. She always rooted for like her guy, but there were some points where she was like, ooh, to the other guy. And I remember, oh my gosh, okay, if I find the comment, I will pull it up. So remember how I told you she's like super anti-Jaden? So during the stargazing rooftop scene, which I've tried so hard to hide, but also this video is getting really long and I don't know if anyone's watching it, who's watching it. So if you have stuck around, you'll get the sneak peek here. The stargazing rooftop chapter 17 is with Jaden and Natalia, and she left this comment while reading it. And I'm sitting here like, see, I told you. I literally messaged her and I was like, what did I tell you, girl? Like, don't even try to hide how obsessed you are. It's hilarious. Yes. She's like, you might not be so bad. No, he's not. Stop hating. Just kidding. Everyone pick who you want. I'm not here to influence you. It's just the whole thing. I love triangles, man. Why do they have such a bad rap? Okay, so she did think that Natalia was going to get with one particular guy. I'm not going to say which one. In the end, especially after, like, the whole incident, with how much that one character meant to her sister, and it was all miscommunication. That's the thing, though. The miscommunication trope does unfortunately play kind of a big role in my book, but, like, I promise there's intention behind it, and it's all, like, it's not just there to create drama or angst. I promise. It's very, very logical, and it has to do with insecurities and, once again, internal conflict within the characters. I feel like that's a pattern here, if you can't tell. Okay, a little critique. All of the bureau members moved on from the death very fast. I agree. It's funny that she mentions that, because she submitted this a few days ago, and then literally just last night, I never made an update, but I was going to, but it was really late. Last night, my second beta reader, who, even though she finished a couple weeks ago, she just messaged me. Well, she didn't message me randomly, but we were talking about something else, and then she's just like, oh, also, by the way, she was saying that a certain character should be more sad after the said character's death. that's something that she said she didn't say, but she meant to, like with the form. So the fact that beta 3 is basically backing that up, here's the thing, I'm not opposed to doing that. It's just the death happens, I think, within, if I'm remembering correctly, within 10 to max like 12 chapters of the ending. Like, I think it happens because it's kind of drawn out, like between when that character is stabbed to like when they're actually dead, and then like the processing of that. So I'd say from chapters, I don't even know, don't quote me on this, but like 47 to 50 maybe, and then there's at the moment 64 chapters in the book. So it is pretty close to the end. And again, that's not to say that I can't add more emotion, and that's a relatively easy fix, so I'm not complaining or disagreeing. I do think that's a good point. 2 reasons you don't want to do a death. You don't just want to do a death for an emotion shock factor or to make your readers cry. To that same token, you don't want to have a character death just for the sake of the plot, but then your characters aren't affected by it. There's no emotion with your characters. There's no grieving. There's no mourning. There's no sadness or regret or angst or like the 5 stages of grief or like anything. So it's a very fine line, and I've never written a significant, that's the key word here I want to emphasize, a significant character death before. So yes, I'm brand new at this, and I mean, no one said I'm failing dramatically, but I think that is something I need to consider. And again, I don't want to put a bad taste in your mouth of like, oh, so they're fine. No, like I promise, Natalia especially, she's very shaken from this. And this isn't a spoiler because I kind of teased this in one of my videos this past week. The person that was killed is in the bureau, and the person that killed them is also in the bureau. So that other person that killed them is not remorseful, and I don't think I should make them, because obviously they murdered them, so why would they have remorse? Because it wasn't an accident, I will say that. But then that leaves 3 other people, so technically 4. 1 not in the bureau. Wink wink, hint hint. So I think that's a good thing to consider. Definitely trying to keep things realistic, and obviously there's a lot, like we're reaching the climax, like right after this, there's kind of like almost a, I don't want to say a kidnapping scene, but it's like this very intense scene. So I don't want to slow down or like bog down the plot too much by just grief and sadness, where like to the point where it slows down the order of events. Like there is action here, things still do have to happen in a chain of events. I don't want to, again, like drag that out in any way, but I think just making it not like, oh no, okay, we're moving on. Because I do admit, toward the end chapters, when everything does kind of get resolved, I kind of forgot about it. That's sad. So I need to work on that. And then closing it off on the anything else to add, she said, nope, it was perfect. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to hold it in my hands. Oh my gosh, this just reassures me with so much confidence. It fills me with a lot of happiness. And beta number 3, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I love you. Your feedback means the world to me. And even though I can't share a lot of it with you guys, so y'all probably are like, was it really that helpful? Trust me, it was. But it's just very spoilery, which I actually really like, because I like the detailed stuff, because obviously I know what it means. So like getting names and details and specific quotes and instances of scenes and chapter numbers, very helpful for a writer, trust me. So that's about it. It's almost 5 p.m. and this sounds weird, but I'm starving. I know a lot of people don't eat until later, but my family's kind of weird with this, and we eat typically around like 2:30 to 3 p.m. I get out of school at 1 p.m., so that's probably why. Compared to when I usually eat, this is very abnormal for me, and I'm pretty hungry. So I'm gonna stop, and I will continue this and kind of start organizing. Like I said, I'm about halfway through, right? Yeah. Roughly halfway through copy and pasting all of these form responses to the spreadsheet, which will help me kind of figure out like exactly a checklist that I will put in here in my lovely notebook of what I agree with, what I'm definitely going to tackle. I already tackled one that you saw at the very beginning of this video, the tattoo one. That was hers. It's in the form somewhere, I think, or was it a private message? I don't know. The thing is her and I text like every single day, and she tells me a lot of things and suggestions, like further suggestions, there. So I really do not remember what she shared with me on Pinterest versus what she put in the form, but it's okay. I made note of it somewhere, either in my memory or in the spreadsheet or in the notebook, or it's in our Pinterest chat history. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I have them all, but I'm gonna go eat and then I will make my way back to the whole pitfall of edits. Okay guys, I need to wrap this up like super fast because I did not realize, I mean I did realize, but I have a really big AP World History test tomorrow, and it's not that I haven't been studying, but I thought that there would be retakes because it's like the last 2 months combined worth of content, and we can't use notes, we can't use any sort of study guide or anything. We weren't even given a study guide, which is like, what? But the quarter ends literally on Friday and tomorrow is Thursday, which means we'll have no time for retakes, which means I currently have a 99% in that class, but if I happen to fail that test, my whole quarter grade is going to suffer because of that. Like, there's no room for me to fix it. So I'm like really stressed and panicked, and this is just not a good day for this. I'm going to be taking definitely today off and tomorrow morning because I have the class 3rd period. I'm going to be taking it off to just focus on this, and I think it's a good time to wrap up the video anyway because it's already Wednesday, October 1st. Cue the wake up, it's the 1st of the month. Okay, hold on, that just brightened up my mood for half a second because I love October and I love fall, and fall's literally my favorite season. If y'all didn't know, it's amazing. So I'm super excited and super happy, and I cannot wait for October and November and Thanksgiving and Halloween and my birthday in November, and it's just it's such an exciting time. But anyway, I need to wrap up this video. So I have not made it through all the beta edits, obviously. Did anyone think I would? Is anyone surprised? However, the thing with this video is, remember how I said it goes until next Friday? So next week's vlog is going to be interesting. I might just make a part 3, honestly, because I'm trying to think. I'm going to be sending it off a week from when you guys are seeing this video. So the Friday the 10th, I post all my videos on Friday. I want to have a whole video, kind of like a part 2 to the first section, where I'm like sending it to beta readers because I'm sending it to 2 or 3 more. I actually have to contact them today, so this is a good reminder. But when I will be sending it off to them, which is also my homecoming, and I want to include some homecoming shots and photos in the vlog as well, it'll have to be like 2 weeks in advance this vlog because I'll have already posted the vlog for that week, if that makes any sense. So what I'm trying to say is we have not finished yet. There's just so much. I'm just swimming. Forget swimming. I'm not even swimming at this point. I'm drowning in these edits. It's going okay right now, but there will probably be a part 3, or at least like a half part 3. I don't know if it's gonna be as long as these, the last 2 in the series have been, but it'll definitely be maybe a half, so like around 30 minutes, maybe. So don't think that this is abrupt because we're not done with beta edits. We are not even close. Draft 3 is probably, I would say, like 55-60% complete. We're like right in there. So for now though, I need to put a pin in this, regain my creative energy, focus on school, just step back for a little bit, and then I promise we will come back strong to fight this beast again. This beast of a book, I mean, because this book really is a monster and it's driving me insane. Anyway, that's going to be it. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button and maybe possibly perhaps subscribe if you're not already. Really helps out my channel a lot. The algorithm recognized like, hey, this was a decent video, we should push it out to more people. I'd really appreciate it. I hope all of your current reads and or writing projects, if you are a writer, are going well. All of my links are in the description down below. You can go check them out, and I will see you all in the next video very soon. Bye.